Welcome back to another episode of Veg Networking Canada. We are a community where plant-based vegan companies connect and collaborate. We honor, acknowledge, and respect that we are located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territories of many Indigenous peoples of Canada. Today we have a special guest with us. He has a deep passion for pushing the boundaries of outdoor exploration. He's committed to crafting nutrition that supports endurance, energy, and recovery in the most rugged environments, and a champion for the wonders of a whole food plant-based diet. Veg Networking Canada is pleased to introduce the founder of Ergogenics Nutrition. Welcome, Ricky Mehta.
Thank you. Thanks for that introduction. Appreciate it.
Yeah, we're thrilled to have you here, Ricky. So why don't we launch into the very first question we ask all of our special guests? Tell us the story of how you became plant-based vegan yourself.
It started with some health issues and me trying to experiment with, different diets. Obviously, we didn't have any extreme diets when I started, which was in 2014. Um, so I knew a couple of vegans at the time, and I thought, hey, why don't I try this out and see if it helps me out? And I would go on and off of it for about a month just to see if I saw the difference. And when I started to see the difference, just health wise, I realized, okay, there's probably something to this, and I'm going to try and stick it out. And basically, continued and then you're trying to figure out how are you going to eat out and still eat this way. And at that time there were a lot of restaurants that actually had some options available, which was kind of cool. The really at that time the junk food vegan market hadn't even like happened, so you were getting beet burgers at one place, lentil burgers at another. So it was really creative that these restaurants were putting these dishes together. I did, you know, get attracted to grabbing the burgers first just to see how they all compared at each restaurant. And yeah, it just from there it just became easy, and I think the vegan or plant-based lifestyle was starting to grow at that time. Um, so more locations started to incorporate those foods, made it easy, and then at home, that was the bigger challenge. I had to figure out how to create meals around that. But yeah, it turned out being not so hard. Still not the best chef, but it I worked through it. So yeah.
That's awesome. Now, switching gears a little bit, because Veg Networking Canada is based around entrepreneurs and business owners. Is Ergogenics Nutrition your entrepreneurial origin story, or how did that unfold for you originally?
Originally, my first kind of uh, you know get jumping into entrepreneurship was in high school. I took an entrepreneurship class, and this was like mid '90s, and I was a raver at the time. And yeah, I thought I'd start a t-shirt company, sell those t-shirts at raves. I was also doing graffiti art, so I had like a crew of two other people, and I basically created the logo, had a friend create the back image, and then went into raves and smaller kind of stores that were catered to the raving industry, and and then you know saw what it was like. I wasn't the best entrepreneur at that time, just because the money went pretty quickly as well. uh, to parties and all that kind of stuff. But it was good to get my feet wet and just kind of see what that was like. So um, yeah, and then the later years, I started, learning about nutrition and started to take my career in that direction. And from there, working in a health food store really kind of helped me get some direction on what I wanted to do. And that's where Ergogenics was born. So,
And speaking of the birth of Ergogenics, the next question is where is your brand going in the future? But I guess it'll be helpful for those listening to kind of, before you answer where you're going in the future, like walk us up to speed of like how it started, where you're at, and then you can use that as a springboard to answer where you're going in the future.
yeah. So while I was working at a store this is in Toronto, um, I worked as a buyer. Um, I noticed that a lot of the products on the shelves weren't the cleanest, especially in the bodybuilding industry. And there was a lot of deceptive marketing. And I thought, and this is a time where there wasn't like a million brands. So it was just like, a dozen different brands in Canada. And, um, and then you did have the American brands in the bodybuilding stores. So I wanted to create something that was going to be clean, that didn't have fillers, gums, preservatives, or even artificial ingredients. So that was my first goal. It wasn't, plant-based per se as the intention, but it was just to offer something that was clean. And and then I created the first product, um, and then started to grow it from there. It evolved over time. I still have the bottles and its renditions over time, which is kind of cool to see how it changed. But yeah, my focus started to go plant based as soon as actually when I moved here and started eating a plant based diet. I My focus really got into offering a plant based protein. I had a green at the time, and then I had some other products that came out, but they didn't do too well. And then I had to reassess and then come out with. Actually, during COVID, I came out with a mushroom product, and then beverages are my latest, which is a new, part of the industry that I haven't been in. Um, I was more in the supplement end, and now I'm stepping into beverages. And I think food and beverage is definitely uh, going to be the future, and that's going in, I guess, into your second question. But yeah, the focus is slowly, keeping the core products and then growing those for the outdoor space, and then food and beverages somewhere where I want to expand. We'll see what comes of it, but right now, you know, just trying to grow the beverage side and hopefully offer something different than the Red Bull and Monster drinks that are out there. And I've got like a image of or like a bottle of the product that I have right now, which is called Liquid Adrenaline. And that name actually came from an old Toronto rave company. So it's kind of gone full circle.
That's so
So
interesting. And
yeah,
you mentioned when you moved here, you're in Vancouver, right?
yeah, yeah.
Got it. Got it. And before jumping into the next part here, can you share whether it's a small story, long story, it's fine either way, but what's the ethos behind ergogenics? Like, what does that mean?
Um, Ergogenic. I mean, it's changed over time, but I think what it's become is products for the outdoor space, and really like offering something that is going to help fuel people's adventure or adventurous sides, and also promoting the outdoor space. I hike, I snowboard. Um, I want to see more people doing those kind of active things. Um, I think COVID had a little bit of that where people had no choice but to do something outside. They couldn't travel. So I think that opened the door a little bit more. But I feel like for myself, also being a person of color, I want to see more people from my background or even other backgrounds that are out there. Here I think you see it a little bit more, but it's still the minority. And I would like to see more minority groups trying out outdoor adventure things. The goal is basically, these aren't activities that you need to be a part of a team. It's something you could do on your own. And I think, what I've gotten from it is that uh, it's really made myself feel alive as a person. And it's a good balance between work life. And I think that more people, of a minority group need to experience that. And just anyone in general should kind of have that feeling, that sense of feeling alive. So the brand is really about that, getting out there, having something that's going to fuel their adventure. So that's kind of where the brand has gone. We don't focus strictly on vegans or plant based. We want everyone to kind of come to our brand. If they're eating a little bit of meat, that's fine. We want to influence them to choose plant based options. We've actually got a really good write up on our website about that. Um, and if you guys haven't read it, definitely check out our website and have a read. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it.
And is ergogenics, did you created that word, yeah?
I didn't create the word,
Oh,
but
it's an actual,
it's an
I don't know.
actual word. Yeah, it's.
Oh, okay, cool.
I actually went through like fitness terms, and it resonated with me because what it means is a substance that enhances your athletic ability. Oftentimes, like in the past, it was associated with steroids, nutrients, and chemicals that can help with performance as well. You know, vegetables, fruits, they all have compounds that are going to help you with your endurance, help you with recovery. So I consider that an ergogenic aid as well. So yeah.
Very cool. Yeah. Okay. That's great. Learn something new every day, as they say. I knew that I was like, oh, is it a play on ergonomics? Like I wasn't quite sure, but that's good to know. I feel a little bit silly thinking that you made it up, but no, I'm glad that I asked. That's cool. Um, so you've already touched on a little bit about what the next sort of topic is, and that's transformations and trends. So, you know, when it comes to clean label, no gums, no fillers, no artificials, like we can all pretty much agree that we don't want that to be a trend. We don't want it to come and go. We want it to be more of a transformation. So maybe you want to touch more on that or others, but like what are transformations or trends you've noticed in your industry?
Um, I noticed that there's a big push towards eco-friendly packaging. It's slowly, even the steps that we've taken, we went from plastic bottles to gusset bags, which use less plastic. And the reason I also made that decision was because there's more technology being created to make compostable gusset bags. Um, so I wanted to kind of set myself up so that in the future, once those actually come out and they're, uh, you know, conducive to containing a lot of the products that we or ingredients that we put into our products and hold I guess the expiration dates to not allow the products to or like the ingredients to go um, bad. uh, I think being set up for that is just an easy, gradual step. We don't have to change our packaging. Uh, our graphics can still remain the same, and then we're just transferring over to something that's more compostable.
Cool. Any other transformations or trends? That is a big one. Anything else you can think of, or?
I think food, like the snack space, the food space is kind of growing. Um, I'm seeing a big push for jackfruit related products, which is kind of cool. I think pea protein had its day, and now jackfruit is coming in, and we're starting to see that in you know uh, frozen food section. There's a lot of like new vegan stuff that is made from jackfruit. Um, I see that kind of continuing. I think as people, sorry about that, as people start to um, want to eat cleaner and healthier and away from the highly processed, they'll go to something that's a bit more less processed. But I feel like real ingredients like jackfruit are starting to come in and fill that gap. But yeah, that's just what I've noticed in general. And of course, the food and beverage, like the beverage space, is ever growing. So yeah.
Cool, cool. Yeah, I personally, when it's done right, I absolutely love jackfruit. So that's music to my ears. Now, I'll jump into the question we had from somebody who's with us live right now, and that question is, how do you create a protein powder if you don't own a factory?
How do you create it? Well, I formulated it, but I use a co-packer. So the co-packer takes my formula and mixes everything together. Initially, before it's brought out to market, there's testing on taste, flavor, just to make sure that it's going to be what consumers want. And then, I mean, you could run focus groups to make sure that the flavor's going to taste good. But yeah, there's a bit of a process, but you can still do it without having your own facility.
Yeah, and I suppose another big tester too, among our on top of flavor and taste is going to be texture. I suppose in your space, that's a big one. So the next question, we always say no right or wrong answers, and we've had people answer it from their personal lens as well as what they're doing with their business. Maybe it's a mix of both, something you've done in the past or currently doing or looking to do in the future, but it's centered around giving back. So, like, what does giving back mean to you? Do you or your business do anything around giving back, and what does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We're definitely giving back. We proudly support the Vancouver Food Bank. So we know that food security is a big issue. So whenever we have any excesses of our own products, we donate. We're donating just in general, dried goods, canned goods. So yeah, especially now in these days where prices are going through the roof, these facilities require um, as much food as they can get. So that's where we're giving back.
Awesome. Um, so in terms of your business, been around, did you say the business was around it's a decade, just around a decade, right?
Yeah, it's a bit over a decade.
Yeah, so been through lots of ebbs and flows, ups and downs, especially everything that happened with 2020. You just mentioned prices going through the roof. So if you're somebody like in your position, like that obviously trickles down to the end consumer and you have to navigate so many different things. So in the life of an entrepreneur wearing 1,000 different hats over the course of the last decade or so that you've had, do you have any resources that you would recommend to other entrepreneurs?
Um, to deal with that specifically, or just resources as in like, if they're starting a business, what can they, you know, read or that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think what people, whether they're starting or they're in the thick of a business, like things that they can read, podcasts, just things that might help with mindset or even, leadership or anything related to entrepreneurs, resources that have helped you that maybe people haven't heard about that would help them.
Um, I think, I mean, I started off with a few books to do with marketing, um, which really helped because, I mean, you've got to sell these products, right? So understanding marketing is number one. Some books I would recommend, I actually have some here. This was the first book that helped me out, which is uh, Selling the Invisible. So that would be one book. And the other one is Punk Marketing. If you want to kind of have something that's more genuine and not really salesy, but attacking things from uh, more underground, I think genuine kind of marketing style, then that's a good book to read. Also, there's a book called Copyright Secrets by Jim Edwards, which is good. Though I think now you've got ChatGPT doing a lot of that stuff, I mean, there's an app that you should definitely utilize. I use ChatGPT um, to help answer certain questions for, customer emails and also for copy for newsletters um, and even ad campaigns. So that's if there, for an app, I would definitely suggest that. I don't really use any other kind of apps other than creative apps. So things that are helping to make videos and take pictures. But yeah, so
Awesome,
those
awesome.
that's where I'd start.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. That's so great. Another question from someone who's with us live. In a space where a brand, like, I'm not going to mention the brand's name, it's got a couple letters and a number. So, in a space where a brand like blank is investing heavily in marketing, what is your customer acquisition strategy, marketing strategy, and growth strategy?
Well, we work on Facebook and Instagram ads. I think because Facebook and Instagram kind of have curbed people's reach, just organic reach, advertising, doing the paid ads is pretty much your only option, and just having good creatives for those ads. For me, it's ever changing and ever evolving. I'm still learning how to, you know, maneuver around that. And not every campaign works out, so you've got to really like see what does, what doesn't, and then um, you know make the necessary changes to make those work in the end. Um, and then Google Ads, I've been running for a while as well. I think people are still searching. Um, so, having that kind of as a backup is important. You don't want to stick to just one platform. You want to expand, but you don't want to over expand either, because having a budget that runs out is not helpful to you. So definitely pick a couple of platforms that you want to focus on, and then attack those first.
And I suppose having a great product is like key to success, right? Like if you didn't have a great product or weren't iterating or weren't listening to folks, you wouldn't be around for over a decade doing what you're doing. So I don't know if there's anything you want to say about the product itself, but like, that's a underlying kind of table stakes growth strategy is like you got to have a great product.
Yeah, and I totally agree. I mean, that was the whole purpose of the brand, was to create something that was clean. And my theory is that people are going to get educated over time, and they are going to seek cleaner products. They're going to look at the ingredients. It's not just going to be, you know, I know there's a lot of ads that are out there, and there are a lot of brands that don't focus on that. But eventually, I think once people get smarter and learn about what ingredients to look out for, they're not going to continue with that other brand. They're going to move over to the brand that has the better ingredients, the cleaner ingredients, the ingredients that don't have fillers, binders, or artificial ingredients in them. So I think
And
that's key.
yeah, sorry if I'm interrupting. And earlier on, you had mentioned, the brand isn't gonna necessarily focus on the plant-based vegan community because, of course, just by sheer numbers, it's smaller than, than everybody else. With that being said, though, very loyal, I would say, sort of sticky consumer segment. And so, has there been any um, thoughts for you and your business in terms of marketing to that community? And furthermore, I guess like on a broader sense, local Canadian, like is that in your marketing messaging and everything like that? Because that's another thing that we've seen becoming really important for consumers is what's inside the product, but also like who's behind the product.
Definitely, we do promote local, and we are a local Canadian brand. Um, and then, uh, you know, what was the second part of that
Yeah,
question?
it's about the sort of loyal community that is full of vegan plant-based people in Canada who are looking for this clean type of a product who, I don't
Right.
know, maybe it is a little bit more expensive, but they might actually go for that. I don't know.
I mean, the brand itself is a plant-based line. We don't specifically target. I think we tried the route of targeting vegans. It didn't pan out as well for us. So we just focus on plant-based, but our target is definitely local. People like to hear that you're a local brand, and um, because we've moved more into the outdoor space. Um, that's our target market, is really going after that, and also chipping away at the Red Bull audience as well. Red Bull, Monster, all those kind of people. We want to eventually catch them as they're switching to healthier diets. And you know though we're not saying anything about being vegan. The fact is, we're fully plant based, and when a person that isn't plant based comes over to that brand, I think it'll leave them more open to wanting to be curious about what is this plant based diet, and maybe I need to learn more. And hopefully, they read what we wrote on our website, and it opens that door as well. And I think also, once they see the benefits, even from our products, but also our suggestions to eat a whole food plant based diet, uh, that usually does the trick. I feel like, people they go on their emotions and also how they feel. Um, and I think if you can make them, feel healthy, and feel a difference compared to their previous diet, uh, the switch will be easy. So
That's
yeah.
awesome. Um, Last one on this topic is, does Ergogenics work with any sort of athlete influencer marketing. I would imagine in the space that you're in the outdoor space, that that would be so great. You know, like if there is just so happens to be an ultra marathoner who's plant-based or vegan or something like that, or a snowboarder or a downhill mountain biker, does Ergogenics tap into that and has it been fruitful?
Yeah, we've got a skateboarder, a couple of snowboarders, bikers. We are looking for other athletes in the outdoor extreme sports space or action sports space. So, I mean, it really, like, as far as marketing, it really depends on, you know, what their content is. We do look for people that have a good following, and also are focused on creating their own content. There is a lot of athletes out there, and we get approached by tons. Um, uh, you know, the ones that don't have big followings, uh, unfortunately, we don't. From a marketing standpoint, it's not going to help either of us. So we kind of move over to people that are already creating and growing their own either YouTube channel. Mostly, you know, we're focused on YouTubers, and we've got a few people that have good followings on Instagram and TikTok. So we'll stick with them as well. But mostly, we're going into to the YouTube creators.
Well, that's
So.
great. Well, if there's any creators who have built a community and a loyal following who are listening to this, you know, well, you can find out more at the end of how to get a hold of Ricky. But if the conversation so far and sort of the origins of ergogenics and everything that Ricky's all about and his company's all about, and it aligns with you, that might be a good fit. But moving on, the second to last question for you, Ricky, today is around inspiration. And it literally is just written down as that one word, inspiration. You know, what does that mean to you? What does it mean to your business? When you think of that word, what comes up?
There's actually a really good documentary that spells it all out. It's called The Search for Freedom. Um, I highly recommend everybody watch this documentary. Um, that to me describes what is inspiring in life. The search for freedom. Uh, kind of dives into that feeling of alive, you know, and it is sort of an action sport film, but it also follows some businesses like Quicksilver, and you know, doing something that you love is very, very important. And really having conviction behind what you're doing. Um, I don't like when I started this business, I didn't look at it from a dollars perspective. I looked at it as how am I going to help people in the future? Um, that was the main goal, because when you leave this planet, you only have what you've contributed, and that's what I wanted to do, was contribute something that when I passed, because you never know when your time is up, and you really need to leave like a good mark for the world. And this is, you know, as I'm actually getting close to 50, it's, you know, it's always been my purpose, but I'm really pushing to get, you know, to that goal, to make this brand something big, and to leave it with people that are gonna benefit from it. But for me, inspiration is definitely feeling alive, and what you can contribute to the future of society. So.
Beautiful, absolutely beautiful, amazing. So we'll get into the last question in a second. We had another question come up that says this: once people switch to a cleaner diet, how do you educate them so they see the value in your products?
So we can only do so much as far as, like, you know, being at a show or at a demo, educating them about our brand. I think if someone's already started to go into some diet that's much cleaner and whole food based, they're gonna start looking for that in whatever they're consuming. It's really up to the person to, you know, get educated to go in that direction, and we'll be there when they reach that point. So.
Awesome. All right. So, Ricky, really big sort of open-ended question here. Do you have any advice, lessons, tips for other entrepreneurs?
I do. I actually wrote that down, so I'm going to read this off uh, my pages here. So I would start with your why. Knowing your purpose will keep you grounded through the challenges. Stay adaptable. Market trends will change. Being flexibility is key to long-term success. Invest in your network. I think relationships are invaluable, whether it's customers or mentors or anyone you're collaborating with, retailers. Take care of yourself. You need to make sure your health is good. That way, you're there for the long run. Um, and and then ultimately, it's about persistence. So stay persistent. If you really believe in what you are doing, don't give up. Just continue to figure out ways to provide whatever product or service you have to the public. And I think that will lead to success.
Awesome. All right, Ricky, before we let everybody know your website and your Instagram, is there anything in today's conversation that maybe we missed that you'd like to mention, announcements, anything like that, or maybe something that we did touch on that you want to touch on a little further?
No, I think we covered it all.
Awesome. Great. All right, everybody. Well, if you're into cleaner nutrition, taking care of yourself, supporting local, all of that good stuff, again, whether it's maybe an athlete out there listening or a consumer who's thinking, yeah, I have this product, but I have been thinking about maybe switching it up. You can check out more online, ergogenicsnutrition.com. I'm not going to spell it. It's exactly how it sounds, ergogenicsnutrition.com. And on Instagram, it's nice and simple at Ergogenics. So, Ricky, thank you for being here. Everybody who's live with us, thank you for being here. And everybody who's listening to this on your own time, thank you for spending some time with us. This has been another episode of Veg Networking Canada, where we spoke with the founder of Ergogenics Nutrition, Ricky Mehta. Thank you, everybody, for being here, and we'll catch you soon on another episode in the new year. Take care. Bye for now.
Thank you.